Welcome to the Beautiful Soul channel. Today's topic is: what types of dead people would we see in a room welcoming the dead? Have you ever imagined how it would look like if you could see all dead people with their physical body at their point of death entering a same single room? What type of dead people and how they would look like at this particular point of death? Let us imagine in our mind then. From a woman's womb, we get born. We come out either from a vagina or from a cesarean. In majority, we come to this world in good health or in enough good health to survive. At this point, we are all at the best of our look. It's the start of life, and it's beautiful. At our point of death, we are in a physical state of either very well or not. Everyone does not end the same way, and if we were on the other side, welcoming the dead, like in a room, we would see these type of dead people. Good, happy person, who reached an old age, and have accomplished enough in their living to be happy to go. They have left a good legacy behind and are happy of their life on earth. They are not victims. Old persons who have been waiting for death for quite a long time, without doing nothing, at the end of their life cycle. Some may have waited for more than 20 years. Many are in quite a good health, and are either happy or just satisfied of what they have done to the best of their abilities. Other old happy persons, who feel they could have done much more in their living. They wish they could have lived some more years. People of all types of ages, young and old, and whatever the circumstances of their death, who would give anything to go back to life for the one or the ones they deeply love and have left behind. These loved ones need them, and these dead persons, if they have the opportunity to meet God, would ask kneeling to go back to them. Now we have the old and very ill persons who have been suffering for long, and sometimes very cruel and hard sufferings before passing away. Human-like, they are remains of a body, and which we can barely recognize. The look in their eyes would be sadness, pain, and the person would need some time to recover from that difficult period of death. Nothing like, at their point of birth, being a happy one. We cannot imagine what type of life they have had. We have other similar wreckage of persons who have suffered from non-transmissible diseases, and once again enter the room like a shadow. They can barely talk, as the suffering has taken over all the happiness they could have had on earth. Maybe they have had a very hard life. Many have had an illness which have matched their internal suffering. Persons who have committed suicide, and their illness is in their head. They are people who are suffering, and all this suffering are real life events or illusions they are living in their head. Debris of the mind and events they would have or did not have a control on. Eating to death. Thin persons who, due to mental weakness of not grabbing its own life, have chosen to eat and eat. Obese person looking for love and comfort in food. People who knowingly have eaten to death. They are their own victims of their weakness. Anorexia. The feeling and seeing of oneself fat. Fat, to a point of stopping eating. a mental illness, a self-made, destructive illusions. Again, victims of their own weakness. Dying from starvation. Many are they of all types of ages, who come into the room with a look and a body beyond description. From arid lands, poor countries and wars. They come. Players, with the thread of life. Either risk-takers, person who are ready to live their dreams, even at the cost of their life. The peak of their satisfaction being their action to achieve their risky pleasures of danger. They are players with the luck of life. By trying to see how many chances do they have. How God or any power will tolerate them. And their deliberate action of playing with life. Either drinking too much, taking medications, drugs etc. when knowingly they can die of it. A heart disease person playing with their heart by knowingly eating unhealthy food. They reach the other side knowing that there is no other external power to blame their death apart from their deliberate actions or foolishness. Satisfied persons are they with final and deliberate action. Happy person who have died, yes there is. People who were waiting for long, young and old. Young due to an illness where the end was near and who is prepared to cross the other side. We have dead person, who come from various accidents. Of all ages and sometimes into pieces. They had a life and plenty of projects. It was not the time for them. They just transited from the living and dead world in maybe fraction of minutes. Events were beyond their control. Murdered, in all types of atrocities. Their look are indescribable. Some are dismantled and silence seems to be the best communication to understanding. Wars make all types of death, and atrocities are beyond words. Having the opportunity of a long life have been denied to them at some point. Events were discriminatory. Natural calamities can make collective death, and all the victims have had the same circumstances of death. By seeing each other, they feel comforted that they are not alone in the room. Despite all have loved ones behind. We have women who have been raped, beaten and murdered. Many are very beautiful women who could have had a beautiful life on earth. Their beauty, or just the fact of being a woman, was the cause of their death. The shame appear on their face, and they look down, to hide to themselves, what have happened to them. We have murderers, who have either ended their life, on purpose, and knowingly after committing many deaths like kamikaze. We have other murderers, which laws on earth, have condemned to death, or was murdered on or after the events of their acts. Their crimes are their glory, and they feel good about it. These are persons who have chosen the course of their life, and their barbarian act is the summon of their belief or brainwash. They don't appear as victim, despite being one, their own stupidity. We have children who have died either of illness, natural causes, and murdering. They have pure love in them for their parents even if one of these parents have ended their life. They just want to get back to them where they feel comfort and protection. We have unborn child who were aborted. These are many, and coming around the earth, and at different stage between the time of conception and the 9 months. Many have been the fruits of pure love at the point of conception, but rejected due to morals and other human circumstances. The room is crowded, like every day. Many realize that they could have done better on earth. A living of 15 to 96 years was not so long in the end. How many think they could have done better if they knew? How some wished they could have taken the pen of their life in their hand and have drawn better opportunities. As absurd as the absurdity can be, some had the pen in their hand, but life chose otherwise. Now you, the listener, who have listened to the end, if you enjoy the most normal life, and have all the opportunities of getting old, as discriminatory as it may be towards others who don't have all these best chances, what is your choice? Depending on which country, house, or gender you are, people are not born equal in terms of rights and opportunities. If you can take the pen of your life in your hand and draw your choices, how do you want to get on the other side? If you like this video, you can subscribe for more, as more there will be.